All right, who's not bored in here? Raise your hand. Half the room, huh? Damn. All right. Who want to hear about onboarding and education? Raise your hand. Who knows about onboarding and education? Raise your hand. 4? Damn, we got a lot of newbies in here, don't we? All right. Well, my name is Tony Bravado. I do NFT CLT in Charlotte, onboarding and education. Basically, we all know what we're here for, is educate ourselves about this space and what we can do, right? At the changing landscape of what's happening and what's going on, everything changes. What you know now will be old news next week. That's how this thing works. But onboarding education is very important because a lot of people in this space understand one way of doing things, of how the old was. But now we got Web3, now we got new technology, we got basically builders who are building this new platform for us to go ahead and engage in. And it's very important that people got to understand exactly what they're getting into. So at NFT CLT in Charlotte, North Carolina, what we do is basically we host in-person live events. So in-person live events is, you can go ahead and do Twitter Spaces all day long, but we already know what Twitter Spaces always is. Who all involved in Twitter Spaces? Raise your hand. Don't they be long? They be like 4 hours, right? Like, you be sitting up there raising your hand like five times, and they don't even see you because there's like 5,000 people in the room. And you can't really get your questions answered. So the best thing that I think is best if we do in-person events, and that's what we do at NFT CLT, is because when we're sitting there, you have someone you could talk to, voice your concerns, have someone there that just in case something goes weird, you can have like a partner that you can go ahead and, hey, listen, call them up, not at 3 o'clock in the morning, but you can call them up and talk to them about anything that's going on. So in our in-person live events, I don't know if they took that down. Okay, I don't know why. All right. Is very important is because a lot of people have a lot of projects and they don't know who to connect to. So having a lot of people involved together can connect a community. But it's also you have to learn how to build a community as well. You can't just tell people what to ape in. You can't just tell people what to do. You have to build a community. Let me let my partner up here, Diamond Doll. There she go, wait. She's on second half too with NFT CLT as well. Yes, it's diversity and women. We wouldn't be where we're at too without NFT CLT without her.
So our mission, like I said, is to educate and onboard as many people as possible in the Charlotte area. That's where we started. We knew most of the crypto community, was popping off in New York, Miami, LA, and we felt like there were a lot of smaller cities that weren't getting the same exposure to the technology and getting an understanding of what's going on in this space, and then the actual artists themselves. I feel like there was a gap, and so in Charlotte, which is a huge banking city in terms of business, we wanted to make sure that the tech community had an opportunity to connect with the artists and the local business owners to figure out a way how they can enable NFTs, in the city, but also crypto transactions, peer-to-peer, business-to-business. And so we actually host an in-person event, a bi-weekly event. I mean, every event that we've had, around 150 to 200 people come. We hold it at a seltzery, right? We get a little, people a little bit buzzed. And it's a 3-hour event bi-weekly, and everyone stays the whole time. We start with the education piece. We try to gamify, so many of you probably feel familiar with like Kahoot and a variety other ways, but that's one way that we kind of reinforce concepts that we've learned the previous weeks. We do giveaways to make it fun, right? Sometimes this can be boring. That's something that we are already doing on Twitter Spaces with some of the big blue chip projects like Parallel, Huxley, Gutter Cats. We'd bring them together to play games with each other, which is what gamers love to do anyway, but also promote and support each other's projects. And so we loved all the energy that we saw places like Denver, like I said, Miami, New York, and we wanted to bring it to smaller markets. And we haven't slowed down. More and more people come to us each week. In under 3 months, we got 1,000 people organically in the Charlotte area to become members of NFT CLT. We'll always keep education free because I don't think we should be gatekeepers in this space, especially when we're talking about underrepresented, I won't say minorities because they're not statistically, but underrepresented people in tech, right? Women, BIPOC. We want to make sure that that barrier to entry into this space is as small as possible because not everyone can fly to Denver. Not everyone can make it out to these events and get exposure to the real change maker. So we do the hard lifting for them and bring the information back. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, she's a better talker than me, as y'all can tell, so. But if anybody got any questions? Anything? Nobody? You want to ask the question. Want to ask the question? Anybody? Nobody? Yeah, go ahead. Say it a little louder.
Biggest challenge we face bringing people together in real life?
COVID. I mean, if you want knowledge, you seek it, right? It's on you.
The other challenge is, you know how diverse this area is, right? You got people in sports, entertainment, fashion, to try to meet everyone's need, beginners, OGs, and then all these experts in their own field. You have to be strategic about the content and how you're splitting it. We can't sit there and talk to people like this for 3 hours, right? So we utilize our OGs in the space, split them up based on their expertise, make sure that there's groups forming. And we have a Discord that, correlates to it so people can stay connected when we're not in real life. But that's the biggest challenge, is trying to meet everyone's needs in a 3-hour event bi-weekly.
Yeah, because people love to talk, and it's I'm not going to talk you guys' heads off for 35, 45 minutes about the same stuff that you heard yesterday. So it got to be exciting games. You got to keep it to the point because people's attention spans are 5 minutes, and that's it. So, yeah. So make sure that if you ever do an in-person event, make sure you keep people engaged. Make sure you do games, activities, and then, keep it short and keep it precise, on point. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Good night. In the words of Russell Simmons. All right.